Hi, and welcome to my final presentation of my Google Summer of Code project. I'm Lucas, and I've been working on the Operation Theater module for OpenMRS. My primary mentor was Harsha, and my backup mentor was Mohammed. What am I going to talk about today? First of all, motivation, why we built this module, then accomplishments, statistics, a few words about the planning engine, then the main part, the demonstration, and in the end, future work, what I've learned, and a quick summary. Motivation. The operation theater is the most critical hospital unit in terms of patient safety and financial terms. That means that the correct management of operation theater activities represents an important step towards meeting the urgent need to deliver high quality care with limited resources. What have I accomplished? I created a rich user interface to display and modify scheduled surgeries, used Ajax and client-side validation, achieved a high code coverage, used OptiPlanner as an automatic scheduler, used a continuous planning approach, also made it possible to manually adjust the output of the automatic scheduler, defined available times for operation theaters, support of basic workflow to create, start and finish a surgery. It is also possible to assign a surgical team to a surgery and, last but not least, schedule emergencies. So here are a few numbers. I've written 162 JUnit tests, which cover 87% of the API code and 93% of the fragment actions. To the planning engine, I've already mentioned that I used OptiPlanner as the automatic scheduler, and it works well with rules, which is a rule management system written in Java, and OptiPlanner is the actual planning engine that uses the rules that are defined in the rules language. Okay, let's proceed with the demo. Okay, let's get started. This button brings us to the main scheduling view. Here you can see the daily view with two columns, each representing one operation theater. So if you have a lot of them, you may want to just view a subselection. Then you go to Actions and Filter and select those you want to view. Okay, let's bring back the other one. There is also a weekly view, but this one just shows the events of one operation theater. Unfortunately, the underlying library doesn't support a weekly view with more than one operation theater. Okay, let's continue with creating a surgery. Therefore, we need a patient. Let's select Patricia Carter. Then we open a surgery. Of course, the list of surgeries is empty. We click on New and enter appendectomy. There are two new field sets, surgical team and workflow. We will come back to that later. First of all, we want to go back and see if something changed in the calendar view. I have set the system time to Wednesday 11 o'clock, but nothing changed. That's why we haven't executed the scheduler yet. Let's do this. Successfully started and currently calculating the optimal solution, and there it is, as expected at the current time, because there is both of the operation theaters are free. They're scheduled right now. So you definitely have realized the gray and white areas. So the white areas is the available time of the operation theater from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the evening. And this is stored as a location attribute for each day. But of course you can adjust it on a daily basis by clicking into the gray area. There you can adjust the times, or you can say that this operation theater isn't available for the entire day. For example, for maintenance work. Let's do just that. So now we have a problem because this operation theater is not available, but there is still a surgery there. Hopefully this will change. Great. So let's undo this. And here you can see the client-side validation. It complains that the end time must be after than the start time. Let's save, and it worked. So now we want to introduce another surgery, this time for another patient, John Doe. Same as before, but this time we'll take test procedure B, and we want to add a provider to the surgical team. Let's select Jane Smith and add her. Okay, back again. Start this color right away and see what happens. There it is. Now we want to add Jane to the surgical team of the other surgery too. So this means there is a conflict because Jane can't be at the same time in Operation Theater 2 and Operation Theater 1. So this is not possible. And the system also takes care of that. Let's undo this quickly. Go back. Schedule. I've told you before that we can manually adjust the scheduling. I want to show you that too. Just select the entry and then specify another start time or another operation theater or both. I want to do the surgery at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Let's see what happens if we run the scheduler again. It moves it back, and this is intended because it was not an optimal solution for the scheduler, so it moved it back. But if we insist that we want to do the surgery at 4 p.m., we can do that by checking this box here, and this tells the automatic scheduler that it shouldn't move this entry here, this appointment. And it is working. So let's undo this. The next thing I want to show you is how to schedule emergencies. So the most important thing here is to determine where the patient should be treated, and we don't want to enter a lot of data to get this information. And this is exactly what this solution does. Let's try it out. Select emergency, and it immediately replies with the message that there is a free operation theater at the moment and which one it is. It has also created a surgery record with placeholder objects that can be replaced while the patient is already treated in the operation theater. Okay, let's select this entry and let's tell the system that we started this surgery. Go back. Now we see this drop shadow here indicating that the surgery has been started, and let's schedule again. And it now moved the other surgery to the end time of this emergency. So now now that the patient is already treated, we can tell the system which patient it is. And now you can see here that this dialog changed, so you can't adjust the start time and the operation theater anymore because the surgery has been already started. But of course we can open the surgery record, and that's what we're doing here. And now we're assigning the correct patient for this emergency. So select Stephen and go back. Okay, and this information has been updated here. So the last thing I want to do now, almost last thing, is also starting this surgery. Okay, going back. And now both operation theaters are not available, and let's see what happens if we have another emergency. Okay, and now the system tells us that there is no free operation theater at the moment, but that operation theater 2 becomes available in 30 minutes. Okay, that finished our demo session, and now we're going back to future work. So I think I've laid out the foundation for a module that could be really helpful, but we're just at the beginning. So there is a lot of work, a lot of potential work to do. For example, automatic rescheduling of if a current solution has been invalidated. You have just seen it. I had to execute the scheduler manually all the time, which is a bit annoying. Another point would be to develop an OptiPlanner benchmark to optimize and compare configurations in order to compare different algorithms and their parameters to increase the efficiency and avoid being stuck in local optima. Then write JavaScript tests for client-side code, because unfortunately they are not existent at the moment, and this would increase code quality. Speaking of code quality, the next point would be also very helpful is to have larger integration tests with lots of surgeries. So the integration tests at the moment, they test one concept at a time, much like in the demo I've given you. So for example, they test if the automatic scheduler handles surgical team conflicts right. What else? Of course, further extending the domain model and scheduling rules. For example, add a scheduling rule to penalize large changes in the surgery start time. So this means if we have a current solution and it has been invalidated because the surgery is delayed for, let's say, half an hour, and we reschedule it, then this new solution shouldn't change much. So it shouldn't be the case that a surgery that has been scheduled in 2 weeks is in the afternoon in the new solution. So there should be a penalty for that. Another thing would be to extend the domain model in a way to subclass emergencies and process them differently. So for example, it's not necessary for all kind of emergencies to be performed or treated immediately. There are urgent cases where it might be sufficient to do it as the next surgery or within the next X hours, or on the same day, or even on the same day. So it depends. And last point, extending the workflow support would be also a nice feature. I've really learned a lot during this project, and I can recommend everyone to take part in Google Summer of Code. I've not only increased my technical skills, but also learned a lot about project management related things like how to develop a large enterprise web application in a distributed environment, about communication channels and how to collaborate in an open source project. And on the technical side, I used a lot new frameworks, libraries and tools, Spring, Hibernate, Liquibase and so on. And I really benefited from looking into others' code and see best practices. I really liked the behavioral driven development. It was interesting to see the modular application architecture, the UI framework, and how RESTful web services are integrated. So to sum it up, the goal of this module is to efficiently manage operation theater activities. The current version allows to automatic scheduling of surgeries, manual adjustments of the calculated solution. It takes care of surgical team conflicts, has basic workflow support, and is able to schedule an emergency. You can find more information under these links here, or you can ping me on IRC. So last but not least, I want to thank Google for creating this really awesome program, and I also want to thank my mentors and the entire OpenMRS community for their support, feedback, and their encouragement. Thank you, thank you, thank you.